that it is showing us, and this is downloaded from Microsoft website. First thing first that you will see in any Excel sheet or document is the very basic, this is the meaty tab of Excel, which is the data tab. And it has so many features in here. I'm going to look at home and I want to look at the data and filters is off. So you are seeing that filters is currently off because the data is made already. So let me just take this little sample. So it is made as a table already. So that is why you are missing that part. But if it is not the table, then what you will do? So you can actually select the whole sheet. Let's do that. And I think you can remove it as a table. So if you go here, I haven't done that to remove the data remove the table side of it. So yeah, it is the whole table name is financial. So as you can see, the whole table is created as the financial, but I can remove it. So if I'm not able to remove it, let's say I'll just copy this and create a new and say paste it as a values. So once I paste it as a value, it actually loses the table setting to it, the table part to it. So it is nothing right now. It is not treated as a table. So sometimes you get the data in this format. Another data comes from various different sources, right? Data will come from different system coming out of financial system. You might have heard of Sage Simply Accounting, Sage Timberline, Payworks, you name it, ADP, all those, and they have all the features to export the data out. The data comes out, as I said, the timesheets that you put in on daily basis is a garbage in. The garbage out is what the management is after, how much we are paying and how much where we can save. That's where they will hire and fire employees, right? And that's where you make or break your job. So first thing first, if I get the sheet in this format, not in this format, what I will do, I will try to make it as a table. If I'm not interested in making as a table, I can quickly, if I'm going to scroll down, let's say how many rows are there? 700 rows are there. Plus one, the first row is the header. So obviously this row is not counted. Total rows are 700. Okay, so you start with 1 and you end up at 701. So first row will not be counted. First thing first, I do in any Excel sheet, I go data, I go view, freeze pane, and freeze the top row. First thing, without doubt. Even though if my data is only 37 rows, I don't do that. I always. So now if I scroll down, it gives my eyes sanity that I'm not losing on the data. And I'm not killing my eyes which column is where and which column is where. I can scroll down, my first row is stuck at there. Second thing I'm going to do is select this and maybe select all the data and say data, and then I'll turn on the filter. And that means I'm ready to slice and dice my data. My data is ready to be slice and dice. Now let's start with this. First column is segment. Remember, Excel is a combination of rows and columns, nothing else. The more your data is complete, the more accurate is your data. But sometimes we might not have all the rows filled up. We might be struggling for some vendor to call us because they don't have the items in stock and we are waiting them to ship, and they say I cannot give you any number. So what you will do in that situation, you will probably leave some empty cells, just like Terence and Farah haven't given the exam. In my Excel sheet, they are sitting as empty, right? I want I want them to give, so I can give them the numbers first of all. The other thing is I want them to succeed. The other thing is my data will be more and more complete. Right? I can only strive for it. I cannot say that okay, it will be 100% filled data. Now, first thing first, I'm going to do. I will show the filter quality of it. So as soon as you have country, if I just wanted to work with country called Canada, I can go here and select this part and select and unselect all and select Canada, and it will show me everything for Canada and disregard everything outside. So if I'll click here, now my rows are filtered. And you can see after 2, I have a second row at 9, and then there's a third row is 13. So you might be thinking, what is screwed up here? It is blue and skipped all the irrelevant countries from the middle. That is why you are missing out. So if I remove this filter now, if I clear this filter, it is back to normal, but you can vouch for that the row number 9 is Canada. In between, every other row is missing because you've placed the filter on it to be country Canada. So if I want to go back to what I was trying to say here, if I'll just say select here and just select Canada, it will just select Canada. So now I'm not seeing any other country. Good enough. Can I put the filter on 2 rows? Yes, I can do the filter on 2 rows. For example, units sold greater than 1000, right? So it means I will need to uncheck all of it, then go back to this number 952. I want everything greater than 1000, meaning that after 10, any number greater than, I will select everything starting there, check marking that. How much time will it take me to do this? A lot, because number of numbers that is greater than 1000 is too much, and it's too much clicking for me to go through. Will I be doing that? No. What is the other filters that we can put on? So there are some advanced filter that we can do. Instead of manually selecting each distinct value, meaning that if this number 1094 is there twice, it is going to be shown here only once. Okay, so when I call distinct means unique values. Distinct means unique values. Even though there are duplicates, it will show only once in the distinct value list. This is called distinct value list. If I just say, okay, don't worry, I'm not going to do this, select everything, but I want to put a number filter greater than or equals to 1000. 1000. So now if I'll do that, it is showing me everything sorted by, it is showing me everything not sorted by, it is showing me everything greater than 1000. So now I've sliced my data in 2 different ways. Canada was the country, and then the unit sold greater than 1000. If the unit sold is greater than 1000, but also less than 2000, then I have to say and less than or equals to 2000. But this is as much I can do. I cannot put the third filter saying greater than this, less than this. It's only giving me up to 2 levels of filters here. Now if I do that, my data will going to be shrinking. It has shrunk. As soon as I do that, there's a flick of a screen and it just shrinks everything. So now if I look at this, this is all the filter I have. So Canada greater than, unit sold greater than 1000, less than 2000. Now if I want to sort it, how can I sort this data? I'll select this data as a whole and go home and say sort by filters, sort and filters a number. And I don't like data to be sorted once you click here like this and click on this button like this. No, I want you to go on this arrow, dig deeper. Okay, small to largest. No, I don't want that. I don't want largest to smallest. I want custom sort. Have you guys tried custom sort before? Okay, so custom sort meaning do this, do this, do this, and do this. Sort by this and this. Let's try that. So we already know that we have sorted it by country, Canada. Now we have product. So we will do some sorting on the product. Let's do that. So if I'll say here and go to custom sort, and under the custom sort, we're going to apply sort by product. So if I'll say sort by which column? Product column. And now you see the benefit of it, because you immediately when you entered into the sheet and you added it that the first row is my header. So instead of showing that A, B, C or D or anonymous column, it is knowing that my first column was the header column and you're talking about this header. So if I'll say product and cell value to be A to Z, meaning that I know that in my list of product, my C comes before P, but if there is a product called A, you will see that this product will jump up. Okay, so I want to make sure, but I can add a level further as well. I want the level or discount brand to be, let's say, low, medium, or high. So now we are really deep into the data now. So we have a country, then we have units sold between 1000 and 2000, and now we are trying to sort between uh, uh, products first, then we are saying discount bound. So when it will be sorting, it will give the preference to the product column no matter what. It will not think about discount brand. Discount brand will come afterwards, and I can keep adding the levels. But if I don't want to add, I can click on this and delete that level. And if I'll say apply, click apply. Now you can vouch for that Amarilla is A with a capital A, then B is there's no product starting with the name B. Obviously the next in the line is C, right? And then Pasio and whatever is there. This is the slice and dice that we can do with the data in this way in Excel, right? There are some other ways which we will see how we can slice and dice the data. That will be the other way. So as I said, data will be coming from different sources. So let's stop it here and I'll save this file. I can just remove this first data sheet that I don't need. I can get rid of that. Now data is here. So this is saved. I will come back to this sheet in a moment. I'll come back to this sheet too later. Let's go ahead and create a little bit of data. Let's examine that. I'll open up a notepad file. Totally different scenario, but the data will be coming from a source, different source. Let's say student ID, and then student name, student email, student phone. Let's say there are 4 columns that I have made. First column, student ID 0001. I'm going to deal with that, but let's see that. student name, that's my email, and my number. Number 2, and I'll say and I'm just going to distinguish his number with this. So this is the sheet that I'm going to create. It is very commonly called as comma separated file in IT world. You will get this kind of sheet all the time. And as an SEO, you might get somebody will give you the data that this is the information that I downloaded from the website. Let me see what AJ is saying. Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Now this is the file. Let's save this file. So save it as, I'm going to save it on my downloads folder. I'm just going to say student. And I'm going to save it as a CSV file. So it will be called csv.csv. And usually when I save this file, I'll save it as all files. And I'm going to save. So .csv is the catch here, and all files has to be changed. Make sure it is not a text file. It has to be all files, and if I save it. Now if I'll save it, this is my Excel file. This is my CSV file, but hang tough. You will see something, you are about to see something surprising here. So if I go to my downloads folder, that's where I kept my file. Hang on. It is showing that this file is an Excel file, isn't it? It is not. It is not an Excel file. I can say that it is not an Excel file, but it's a CSV file. How when I save the Excel file? Well, Excel file have an extension called XLS, isn't it? We know that it is. If I go to the properties of this file, it's an Excel file and it has an Excel X extension. Okay, this is normal, but this is not normal. Properties. Okay, program associated. What's happening? It's a CSV file. Why CSV file is getting associated with Excel? Keep in mind, CSV file are actually associated with Excel. How come? Two different ways I can show you that. Each comma is a column. Okay, so now it makes it easy. If I double click on this file, and if I go, I made this file in a notepad, but I am going to close it now. Okay, let's close it. Double click on this file and open it. It has actually opened this file in Excel. Each comma is now separated as a column. Easy. There is some loss of data, but that's okay for now. To prevent that loss of data, let's do that. Let's open up in a notepad first. And to prevent the loss of the data, as far as I remember, you just put those in the quotations. So you will not have the loss of data. So if I'll save it now and double click and open up in an Excel. Oh, it does lose it. It did lost it. So we'll see that. But the data is there at least. The student ID, I don't care. My student ID is 1. Joe's student ID is 2. I remember. But I remember I was able to save my data if I put the quotes in here. It is not working. So let's do that one more time before let me check that. Open in a notepad. Yeah, it is there. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so I can double click on the file and open it, and it will open up in an Excel. It is losing that first piece of it. I'm not worried about. Now, if I say this is a CSV file that is sitting on my computer, I have not opened I have not opened up it in an Excel, but if I want to open up it in bring it in an Excel with a different way. So I'll close this file, close this. So let's open up. This is my existing sheet, and I'll say, okay, don't worry, I am going to open up a new tab. This is a new tab. I can bring in data from Excel file as well. So I'll say data from that CSV file. If you go to data, look at this from CS text slash CSV file. If I click on this, it says that, okay, where is your file located? I saved it under the downloads folder. And if I'll say, this is the CSV file I am after, can you bring it please? It says, sure, click on import button. It is saying that it is working a little differently. It is bringing the data as the source will remain the same, but it is bringing the data and it is showing you first 200 rows of the data. And it is automatically found out that there is a comma separated values. The delimiter that is separating each value is a comma delimited value. Is that right? Yes, it is. So I'll say, okay, load this information inside this. So you can double click on it and bring that data here, or you can go on the data tab and you can bring this file as a CSV file here. So go to data tab, from the CSV file, browse that file, bring that file in. It will bring that data here as well. It is showing it is showing me as a data. It is connected to that file and it is showing me the data from there. It is not actually opened that file here. It is actually connected to that file. Whatever is in that file is still in that file. It is showing me a copy of that data here. Okay. Table looks different. First thing first, nevertheless, when you get a CSV file, keep the CSV file separate, open up in an Excel, and save it as an Excel file. First rule of thumb, because there is a catch to it. Okay, let me show you what is the catch. Let me close that. So I have shown you how to open a CSV file directly by double clicking it, or if you have already opened the Excel, you can bring the data from that from that CSV file and show it here. Obviously the color combination looked a little awkward and different, but it is showing that I am treating it differently while you are opening it. So let's close this one more time. I'll close this tab and delete this. So let's see if I can open up from here. Now it is opened up here. This is essentially just double clicking it because I have recently opened it few times. So it has just directly opened it, but I can go ahead and double click on it and open it here. Now let's look at that. By double clicking a CSV file, essentially think of what is a CSV file. CSV file was only a notepad text file, nothing more than that. Student name, student ID, blah, blah, blah. Student number 1, student number 2, nothing more than that. It's a text file. but Excel has extra capability that it was able to read, trim out all the commas and read it for you. Now, here's the problem. You can open up a CSV file. Let's give it a color. Highlight this student and highlight this student. I'll click Save. Okay, let's close this. I've made some changes to this file. What will happen? Notepad is just a plain Jane editor. It does not care about your coloring scheme or what color you have changed. So if I'll click and save it, close it, and open up in a Notepad file, open with Notepad or Notepad++ I have. Where is the color? Obviously, it doesn't care about your colors. It is worried about data more than your coloring schemes. Okay, close that. Well, I have changed it in an Excel. When I was working in an Excel, I changed it to yellow and red. It should kept it because I saved it, but when I'll open it, it's lost the formatting. So CSV file, one thing hence proved that when you get a CSV file is more of a data file instead of your formatting file. So first thing first, if you get a CSV file and you have identified the culprits, colors or something, if you have done a hard run throughout the day and you have colored 500 rows as yellow and 500 rows as red, and you click save and you come next morning and you open up that file, all the formatting is lost, right? So what you will do, save it as or browse it somewhere. Yeah, has to be changed to Excel workbook and save it. I've done that mistake and learned a little bit hard way. I thought I promised my boss that I will give you all those red, green, and yellow employees. And the next morning when I opened up, it's just done. So CSV file has to be saved as an Excel file. CSV file is just a data dump. So preferably if your IT department says that I can give you a CSV file for it, you can ask him, can you give me an Excel file better than CSV file? If it is not, then you have one job on your hand to do, that make sure when you get a CSV file, save that CSV file as a master copy somewhere. Once you received it in your email, put it in your repository folder, then work off of the copy by saving it as an Excel file and keep saving your Excel files, right? So that way you will not lose the formatting and the slice and dice. You can still do slice and dice in the CSV file because you have all the features enabled in CSV. Only thing is when you save it, it will not keep the changes because it's a data dump. So sometimes they will give you a CSV file, sometimes they might give you a TSV, which is called tab separated file, as long as there is a delimiter, proper delimiter, like a tab delimiter or a pipe delimiter or a slash delimiter. There are different delimiters on the screen. So first thing first, save it as a CSV, as an Excel file. Now if I save it, I will have the formatting, because if I go to my downloads folder, if I press F5, I have one file with a student name. And if you look at this really closely, here is a comma separated value and here's the Excel workbook. This is only 1 KB in size. So it means formatting does take a little bit of your size of the file. But who cares in this day and age? Let me just see. Farah is just asking me a question. Okay, Farah, if you have done all of those, If you want to join, you can join. If you want to leave, you can leave, or watch this recording if you want to increase your knowledge afterwards.
Yeah, teacher. I want to watch the previous recording.
You want to watch videos? That's good. You can go
Yeah.
to yesterday's lectures and whatever if you want to, and you
Okay.
study for exam.
So teacher, I have done the quizzes. So I see the quiz 2. I have seen my result, but quiz 1, I don't see it.
I will check that out. I will check your both quizzes today and consolidate your answers. If I need to fix your grades, I will fix your grades.
Oh, teacher, thank you. I do appreciate, teacher.
All right. Okay.
Thank
No
you.
worries. Don't forget to come in the exam tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I will be off tomorrow, so I will be at home.
Okay. All right. Good.
Thank you.
See ya. Okay. So CSV file, as I said, data can come from different sources. You can save it. Ideally, they will give you data in different formats. CSV is the one format. And the good part is, if someone does not have does not have Excel or does not have any, it's very hard to believe that people don't have Excel. You can save Excel file as a CSV file as well. So if I'll go here, this is essentially when I started working this. If I'll remove all the filters, I'll go ahead, clear all filters. I'll go ahead, clear all filters and everything. I think all the filters are removed. If I save file, save as, browse, and if I want to save it as a CSV file, I can actually save this data as a CSV file. So financial sample as a CSV file or something. And then main part is that I'm selecting this comma delimited has to be selected. And if I'll click save, it is saying, because you are saving this file as a CSV file, if you have done any formatting with the data, let's say if you have made it bold, italic, changed the color of something, or changed the employee name to a bold, or highlighted the color, that formatting will be lost because CSV file does not support, first of all, multiple sheets. CSV file does not support formatting. It's not saying that, but I can tell you that. We saw that actually. So if I'll say, okay, don't worry. So now if I'll go ahead, here is that CSV file. Financial sample was my actual file. Now I actually am able to create a CSV file. So if I open this with Excel, I can open it with Excel. If I want to open up in a notepad, let's open up a notepad. Here you go. Call row number 1, comma, country, comma, product. So essentially what Excel has done for me, be nice to me, it has separated out each column and put a comma wherever it find. And then for actual values, it has put the values with the comma separated values as well. That's the beauty of it. So you can create the text file and give it to somebody, or you can obviously can give them the Excel file. So from the older system, particularly legacy systems, you get a lot of time text-based data, and you want to read that into Excel, or if you read it from Excel and send it out to somebody in CSV format, which is not ideal, but you can still do that. So I can go ahead and delete this CSV file. Oh, it is open. It will not let me close. Let's move on to, let's see if I can do the last topic of it so that you guys can go ahead and do work on your exam. But this is an important topic. A lot of people Don't do it, but we can do that. So this is my data. So I will remove all the filters again, clear filters. Now I will put a filter back of a country on Canada and see, I want to see how, regardless of the product, how many items I have sold, how many units I have sold. So if I would be you, I will be just going at the bottom of my screen, click here and going in, going home. And if I need to sum, I can click on auto sum, and what it will do, it will sum all the units sold. And as soon as I do this and press enter, these are all the units sold. Regardless of all the products, I'm seeing all the units sold. And I can guarantee that this number is okay because I'm working in Excel. And Excel does auto sum with honesty. So here is that. If I want to do the sale manufacturing price of this, and I'll say give me the sum of all the manufacturing price. So I can say auto sum of all the manufacturing price. So this is my total cost of manufacturing all the items that are being sold, right? That's the total number of units sold. But what is the sold price? I want to see the sold price. So this is my manufacturing price. I want to see what is my sold price. So this item is, or some of the items are very awkward to me, but really doesn't matter because this is a dummy data. But have a look at this one. This item was manufactured for $250, but when it is sold in the market, it is being sold as a $20, which is kind of awkward. But have a look at this example. This item was manufactured in $10 and being sold at $15. I'm just working with the dummy data, so this is not a truthful data, but I can see that. So if I'll see here and create an auto sum of this one, oh, what I did here, okay, delete this. I'll say auto sum, not this row, but I want auto sum of all of this. So I'll select this row and say auto sum. Here it is, 16,850. So I can just drag it a little one step down. Oh, here it is. Everything that is being summed up, we can see here. Obviously, I'm selling some items at a loss, but overall the profitability is here in general when I'm talking. So I can see these numbers here, but let's look at the last topic for today, which is pivot table. Which is pivot table. So what is pivot table? Pivot table is looking at the data that under certain situations, under certain column, when these values are selected, how we are making the sale. So we can look at this same way. So right now we are putting the filter, we are putting sums at the bottom of the sold and manufacturing price and sale price like this. But can we do it for a different company? As soon as we do it for a different company, let's see if the number changes. Let's do it for France and click open. Click OK. Is that the right number or not? I will have to verify that. Is that the right number? Let's look at the formula. E2 to E7. Yes, it is going from the second row till which row? The last row was 702, which is okay. So it is giving me the right number. I am going to change this. Instead of doing it here, I'll create a new Excel sheet, which is the pivot Excel sheet, on which I can do it really easily. Okay, so have a look at this. I will go to insert and say pivot table. And let's remove these numbers. So let's actually do two things. Before I insert the pivot table, let's bring the table back to its normal form. So clear all the filters. So now it is back to its normal form when I started working on it. So now I'll go insert and say pivot table and say pivot table, and it's saying, how do you want to create the pivot table? From I see your data is from A1 till 701, which is right. I'm sure if you are able to see it, it might be a little too small, but I cannot enlarge this screen. But I say, okay, yes, this is my data. If I click OK, it opens up a new sheet for me. So where is my actual data? My actual data is still on sheet number 2. It has created a new sheet for me, just a dynamic sheet. I can get rid of it or delete this sheet in a moment. But let's go by same thing. On the row side, I want to see all the countries. Okay, these are the distinct countries that I have in that sheet, isn't it? Mexico, France, Germany, Mexico, France, Germany, United States, all that. Distinct means even though they are repeated here, but in the pivot table, it will be only repeated once, meaning there is no duplicates. There's only once. So if I'll go here, yes, Canada, France, Germany, Mexico, United States. And remember, I was working with the manufacturing or unit sold or manufacturing price. Let's say units sold. I want to see for each country how many units are sold. So for each row, for each value in that column, I wanted to see how many units sold. This looks a very familiar number to me because that's what we have obtained when I put a sum at the bottom of the screen here. And I can regenerate it as well. If I'll say this and go back home, and I'll say auto sum. This is not the right number. Of course, I need to put a filter on a country. So I can say country is Canada. But I need to regenerate that by saying auto sum. Here you go. 247428.5. If I go here, is that the same number? Yes, it is the same number. It is the sum of all the units sold in Canada. But I had to do a lot of work here, not a lot of, maybe a couple of filters, and then able to achieve this number. In the pivot table, it is showing me, you don't have to worry. I can show you that Canada has this unit sold, France has this many units sold, Germany has this many units sold, and so on and so forth. And the total number of units sold across the globe for this for all the products that we are selling is this. And this is what management looks at. Management, if I'm the CEO of a company which is multinational, I don't care what is being sold in Red Deer or in a small town. I want to see how much I made from Canada or how much I made from, if I'm just one country, I will be looking, if I'm Canada only, I will be looking at what I sold in Alberta, what I sold in Toronto, what I sold in Ontario, actually, BC and Manitoba. But if I have a multinational company, I will be looking at company by company or country by country. And this is the exact same number that we got here, isn't it? It is. And same for the France, same for Germany. And I can vouch this is the right, these are the correct numbers because it is coming up with the honesty of Excel. So I can do this. And now if I want to do one last thing, I'll put a country. Obviously, this is very small data, but if there will be 50 countries, I can go ahead and put a filter and say, I want to see, I just drag the country in the filter and I can just go ahead and say, I want to see Canada only. And if I'll say OK, it showed me all the result only for Canada. If I just say, no, I want to see all the result for France as quickly as it is. If I want to see the result from all of the countries, click all, OK. And I have to make sure that I'm not losing it here. So I have the countries here so that all the countries will come in their own distinct row. So this is the row level information, what I want to see at the row and what is the pertaining column that I want to see in the summation. So this is the starting of the pivot table. And now you can see that really doesn't matter if I'll give you a data. That means just imagine if I give you that this is the country and this is the number of clicks or people visited your website. Just imagine, you can see that yes, from country Canada, how many people clicked on my website. So the implementations are in different industries, not just in the finance industry. You can implement this in any particular industry, slice and dice, create your pivots, find out the data, where the clicks are coming from. These are just the number of clicks from different countries, right? Let's say if I'll just change the column name to be clicks, that's about it. That's how I change. These are the clicks from different countries. And if I want to see what is the number of clicks from Canada, obviously right now it is not showing me the right result because I changed the column name there. But imagine if it could be clicks, and then we can see that clicks from Canada is this, clicks from France is this, Germany is this. So you can do some analysis on the data that how people are visiting your website or how people are buying your products or how much you are selling, how much is the clicking, what are the bad links, count of bad links, sum of the bad links, all those different analysis. So is that information is enough for you for today? All right. Let me go back to the main chat. I'll stop here. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of introductory part of Excel, just information. We are done with the course. I give you guys a good luck for your exam for tomorrow. I'm still sitting here. If you have any question related to exam, ask me. Otherwise, you don't have to memorize this, what I have told you in Excel, but it's a good piece of information. You can listen to it afterwards. Keep the recording with you.
Thank you, Kashan.
Thank you. What is this, AJ? I couldn't get here. Thank you, but I understand, Gavi.
Hello, Kashan.
Yes, hi.
It's Marianne. Did you say I can't remember if you said that you're gonna get back to me later about
I'm going
tomorrow?
to talk to you right now. I will call and talk to you right now, okay?
Okay,
I'm
okay,
going to just message you right now. Okay, thank
okay.
you.
Thank you so much. By the way, thank you for the pivot table in Excel. I always wondered how to do them, but now I know it's not that hard.
Yes, yes. And if you have any difficulty, you can reach me on my email, even
Oh,
after
okay.
this course. Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Do we have your personal email? Like,
Yeah, you have, I think if you have my LinkedIn profile, if I have given to you guys in the first class,
oh, okay.
uh,
Yeah, I can do that as well.
you can find me on my LinkedIn, okay? All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, yeah, AJ, I will show you the pivot table. Let me just finish up with Mary. I don't want her to hang up. I'm just going to talk to her in a private chat. Okay, just give me a moment. Hey, Mary, I just sent you a message. I haven't seen the reply. Can you reply, please?
Sorry, Kashan, you mean 8:30 tomorrow, right?
I don't think so. It's feasible for you. Will it be too late for you? You will be
No, no,
might
no.
already be.
No, no. Sorry, that's okay. That's perfect.
Okay. So you know what I will do,
Yeah,
Mary? If
yeah.
what I will do, I will send you the email for the exam link when the exam starts. Okay. So you will not be in the class, but when you will come and join the class, you will check your email and you can start giving the exam.
Okay. No, because I thought you want us to be on video. Is that correct?
Yes. So what you will do when what I will do, I will send you the link via
Okay.
the email. When you come
Yeah.
back home,
Okay.
turn on the camera, open
Okay.
up the link, and start giving the exam.
Okay.
And even though exam will be finished by 9:30 or something, I will not hang up on the meeting. I will let you continue there so I can so your camera is still getting recorded.
Oh, okay. You said I don't need to go in the class, right? Tomorrow?
No, you will not be in the class at you will not be in the class at 5:30, but when you come back, you will join the class at 8:30. Okay,
Oh, okay.
and
Sorry
then you
about
can
my
you can
dogs.
no worries, no worries. So when you will come back 8:30, turn on your camera, open up the link, and start giving the exam. What I will
Okay, I
do,
got it.
I will not turn off the meeting at 9:30. I will turn the meeting at 10:30 or something.
Oh,
So
okay.
you will still
Okay.
be. So 2 hours should be ample time for you to. By the time you will be tired, and I will be
Yes,
tired as
it's more than enough, but I want it also done tomorrow, and thank you for considering. Thank you so
well. Okay.
much.
All right. All right. Good. Those who want to leave, they can leave. I'm working with AJ now, or if you have any further questions regarding pivot table, I can help you with that. Or if you have any questions regarding exam or our actual course, you can ask me that. Yeah, AJ, I can come back to you. You have questions? Yes? You want to understand the pivot table again? So what is pivot table? Pivot table means your data is coming into different columns, segments, countries, products, discount brands, right? I mean, I will say it back to units sold. That's what it is, I think. It is units sold. So I'm just sticking with the actual name. Units sold, whatever. So your data is coming from different uh, sources. All these are distinct values, right? You probably have you have this data coming from your database, which has all this information in it. It could be a financial data, it could be your SEO data, it could be your sales and purchase information, your request for quotations and whatnot, right? All those data. Thank you, Margaret. So all these data is coming. Excel doesn't care where the data is coming from, as long as it has numbers and well-defined columns and well-defined data. You can create filters on submissions. You can create filters on the actual data. This domain values are highly unlikely to be changed. Country will be probably Canada, Germany, France, and maybe later on if my business expands, it might have few more countries in it, like India or something. But in general, countries will be countries. The domain will not change. I wanted to see what I have for each country in the unit sold. So let's say if I go ahead and let's say for experiment's sake, I want to go down and let's remove this one. And I'll just say copy and paste this row at the bottom. And I'll change this to, instead of country United States, I will change it to India. There is no country there. And for the most part, let's say if I have 703 items sold in India. Now, I know there is no other row for India, but if you go up a little bit and go to the filter section, how many countries I have? If I click here, the uniquely identifiable countries are Canada, France, Germany, India, which I just added, Mexico, and United States. So it doesn't really matter as long as it falls in that row, it knows even once it will be available in the filter, meaning these are the distinct rows that is available under that column. Now, you want the row, you want the information that what is happening in these countries for my sales or for my clicks or for my SEO results. So what you do, I'll go ahead and delete this and recreate this one more time. So I delete this, so I'm going to recreate it. So I want to create the pivot table on it. So I'll say select all and I'll say insert pivot table from table and range. From table and range meaning from which Excel sheet that you are referring. It says automatically detect that, okay, you are talking about this whole data set, this whole selected data set that you are talking about. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So if I'll say okay, it says, okay, I figured these are the columns that I found in your pivot table. Okay, these are some columns. Good. Well, I'm interested in the column country. Okay, so country. So now you can see there's a blank here as well, but I don't worry about. Now you can see it automatically added India in here. Even though there's only one row that I just added right now, it knows that I'm talking about country, and under whatever under the country, whatever are the distinct countries uniquely identifying that, I'm going to put that in that row level for you. And you can see at the row level, I have all the countries. Now, if I want to look at the unit sold, value of the unit sold, which is the totally different column in this context. Which column is that? Unit E. So yes, I can do that. So I'll have to drag this unit sold here, and then this unit sold will come here. Blanks, ignore blanks right now. But look at this. India is 703. Isn't it? India is 703 because I just added one row for India. Yes, it is. But let's say if I go back here, and I'm going to be saying, if I go down, hey India, I have one row for you, and I see this is 703 rows. So let's say Control A, oh sorry, Control this row, Control C, Control V. I have added one more row for India, but this time I'll just say 50. So in total, how many for India? 753 rows. If I go in the pivot table, oh, this is a problem here. It is still showing me 703. It should be 753 because there are two rows now for India. So right click on this pivot table and say refresh. Once I do refresh, it shows me 753 because it added that one extra row that I added in there. So pivot table means whichever country you will select or whichever column that you will select, you want to have some numerical value against it, and you can have that here. So if I want to say, no, I don't want to go by country, I want to go by the segment. So if I'll select segment, channel partners, which is under the segment column, and if I go each segment with the channel partners and sum this unit sold, at the end of the day, when I will be summing up all the channel partners, all the ones with the channel partners, they will end up, surely it will sum up the units sold to be 162,016.5, which you are seeing in here. If you are changing a single row, you will have to come here on top of this and click refresh. So then it will refresh this pivot table for you. So let's say if I go back and change this value for channel partner unit sold 914 to let's say 900, I am at deficit of 14 units sold. So if I go here, it should subtract 14 out of it, 162016 minus 14. So it should be a lesser number that we are about to see. If I'll click on refresh, it has removed and updated this 002. So pivot table gives you the units sold by each row that you want or the column that you want to work with for that particular row. Is that okay? Okay. All right. So no worries, no worries. So give yourself some time, improve your Excel skill as well, because implementations of Excels are numerous in different fields. It's not just IT or anything like that. Okay, so I'm just going to hang up for now. If you have any questions, please put a text message here and I'll grab a bite.